red herring is caused around the question of the average users in Ireland. And I don't want to go into the complexities of it, because people with better minds than me have done so here, people who are on my side on this issue. And I'd like to refer to the comments by Deputy Murphy, Deputy Owen O'Brien and Deputy Richard Boyd Barrett on this. But there is a real strong attempt here to confuse the Irish population, and, as I said earlier, to leave not just the front door but the back door and the windows et al. Open to bring in water charges in the future. The crucial question is that while all this is happening, and while there's an attempt to implement some kind of a charge for overusage, there is no evidence that the average Irish man, woman or child is guilty of overusage of water, of wastage of water. In fact, Irish Water themselves have given you the average figures that show that the average usage here is below the average use in Britain, Denmark, etc., where they do actually have meters and where they have charges. But what we're trying to do here is to bring in a system whereby the average use will be reduced over a period of 5 years. By that time you'll have another government. There'll be more and more people being charged with. There's confusion about whether a household of 4, 5 or 6 is then calculated on the basis of having more allowances. I mean, you could live on your own and use the same amount of water. You could live with 2 people and use the same amount of water. But generally speaking, you will need to use more if there's 2, 3 or 4 of you in the house, and that's not rocket science, that's obvious. And in a society where the average occupancy in households is increasing because the crisis has led so many young people and other extended family members to remain at home until they're in their 30s, there's an increasing number of households that are being made up of 4 adults. There's an average household size, according to the statistics, of 2.75. But if there's 4 adults in the house and they use slightly more than the average, then are they water wasters, Minister? Are they guilty of wasting this precious commodity? More guilty than Irish Water are for not having fixed the leaks? More guilty than you and previous governments are for not investing in the infrastructure and attempting to address the real problem, where over 40% of our water, clean, treated water by the way, was being leaked out through the system. An individual usage figure was something that Fianna Fáil argued for, but we still have an overall household figure. We did the sums on it, and we say that if the average is 133 litres per person per day, the average household allowance will be 622. For 4 adults using the average amount, it will be 540 between them. And it only requires them to use less than 20% extra water per person to face charges. So by hook or by crook, you, with the help of Junior Minister Barry Cowan and his Soldiers of Destiny party, are determined, absolutely determined, to bring water charges into this country. And if you can't do it in your lifetime, however long your confidence and supply agreement lasts you, you are leaving it open for whomever of you, and possibly both of you together in coalition. If you were honest with the people of Ireland, that's exactly what you would do after the next election, is to join together, because there isn't the thickness of a cigarette paper in difference between you in policy. All of this is charade, all of this is cosmetic, all of this is fictitious. And to claim that Fianna Fáil have saved the Irish people on the question of water charges is it's a great joke, and I'm sure it will do the rounds in the water movement and in the communities about how funny Barry Cowan is. He's actually a scream when it comes to describing what the history of this movement is.